Today I'm going to be talking about The Wind Through the Keyhole by Stephen King. Basically, in a nutshell, I didn't care for this book. I had some very high expectations for it, don't get me wrong. I mean, look at the cover. That is one of the most amazing covers that I've ever seen on a book. And this, again, comes down to don't judge a book by its cover. I did, shouldn't have. But you know what, hearing the name Stephen King and seeing such a cool cover, I had high expectations, as I said. Maybe I didn't like it because I hadn't read the Dark Tower novel series, but it said you didn't have to in order to enjoy this book. Now, for those of you thinking you're going to get a sort of very connected adventure like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, you're not going to in this one book, because this one book is sort of just stories. I guess there's a story of the main characters throughout the entire Dark Tower novel. Basically, they're trapped in this area for a night, and so one of the characters tells his story, but inside of his story, he tells another story, if that makes sense. It was a bit confusing at times. In fact, a lot of it was confusing, especially the characters. I thought for sure one of the characters, the main characters, would be a girl, because does this not look like a girl to you? I don't know if you can see that very well. To me, it looked like a girl on the cover. That's a guy, that's a boy. But, like a 10, 11, 12-year-old boy. But I also had a bit of trouble with the writing style. Some of you might enjoy it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's probably an amazing book if you enjoy that kind of stuff, but there were no chapters. It just kind of went on and on and on. There were little breaks, but that was about it. There were sections, because the book's pretty long. There were about 4 sections, but there were no chapters, and I like chapters because I like to have a spot where I can stop. This just, to me, I felt like I had to keep reading, and at points it became annoying. This is also one of the few books that I've read where a glossary or an index sort of type thing that defines the characters and the different aspects of the world that's created would have been very much appreciated, because I was confused at points. The times that he did try to explain things, for me, it still didn't do it. I was still a little confused about what I don't even remember what half the things were called, because there were some weird things in there. Okay, I don't really particularly know what oi was or what a bumbler is or anything like that. It's just some weird terminology that I didn't understand that would have been nice to have understood. And if he wanted it to be a standalone novel, which is the way they're marketing it right now, to where you can read it without having read the entire series, then there should have been some kind of glossary that defines the different characters and aspects of the universe. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're a Stephen King fan, you might want to still pick this one up and read it. Personally, I kept thinking, man, I wish I was reading a Neil Gaiman novel, because that's what I wanted this to be, and it just wasn't. Perhaps I went to reading this with the wrong expectations. I don't know. But for me, it's just one that I would skip if I were you. Unless, like I said, you're a big Stephen King fan. Otherwise, might want to pass.